In this video, I am going to discuss the benign breast lesions. There are three types of benign breast lesions: non-proliferative breast changes, proliferative breast changes without atypia, and the proliferative breast disease with atypia. The first of all, I will discuss the non-proliferative breast changes. This is also known as the fibrocystic changes. It is associated with the increased risk of breast cancer. The clinician called it lumpy bumpy breast. The radiologist drains breast tissue with a cyst, and the pathologist call it benign lesion. In the morphology, we can see the three features: cyst, fibrosis, and adenosis. How the cyst is formed and what features can be seen in the cyst. Basically, the dilation of the lobules result in the formation of the small cyst. These small cysts will go and join together to form a large cyst. If the cyst is unopened, it will contain the turbid semi-translucent fluid of the brown and blue color. Cysts are basically lined by the flattened atrophic epithelium and the metaplastic apocrine cells. Metaplastic apocrine cells having the abundant granular eosinophilic cytoplasm, round nuclei. These resembles the normal apocrine glands and normal apocrine epithelium of the sweat glands. These two types of epithelium or the cyst undergoing the calcification and form the solitary and the firm to palpation. What is the main feature present? On the fine needle aspiration cytology, disappearance of the mass take place, which is the main diagnostic factor. Now come to the fibrosis. To continue with the cyst, if the cyst is going to rupture, it will release the material into the adjacent stroma or the connective tissue. Results in the chronic inflammation. As the chronic inflammation takes place, ultimately fibrosis, which results in the palpable nodularity of the breast. Now comes to the adenosis. What is adenosis? Increase in the number of acini per lobule. These are the ducts, and this is the whole lobule, and these are its acini. Adenosis means the increased number of these acini, and the epithelium present in these acini is the columnar epithelium, and this is the whole lobule. Adenosis is a normal feature of pregnancy, but in the non-pregnant humans, it's a focal change. It undergoes the calcifications, and the columnar epithelium is present with a benign nuclear atypia. If the flattened epithelial atypia is present, this is due to the clonal proliferation and the deletion of the chromosome 16q. That means a large arm of the chromosome. These lesions are the precursor of the low-grade breast cancer. Now comes to the lactational adenomas. These are the palpable masses present in the pregnant or the lactating women. These are the normal appearing breast with the lactational changes. Simply, it's the exaggerated response to the gestational hormone. It's a non-neoplastic condition. Now the proliferative breast disease without atypia. What is meant by the proliferative breast disease without atypia? It's simply the proliferation of epithelial cells without nuclear changes, but it increases the risk of the carcinoma. It can be detected as a densities or the calcifications on the mammograph, or it can be detected on the biopsies. In morphology, we can see the four features: epithelial hyperplasia, sclerosing adenosis, complex sclerosing lesions, and the papillomas. Normally, the breast tissues consist of the two types of epithelium, as I discussed in the earlier videos: the double layer of the myoepithelial cells and the luminal cells. These line the ducts and the lobules. But as the epithelial hyperplasia has taken place, these two types of epithelium starts to increase in the number. Distant ducts and the lobules result in the irregular lumen present at the periphery of the cellular masses. Now comes to the sclerosing adenosis. As I discussed earlier, adenosis means the increased number of acini. But what is mean of the sclerosing? Sclerosing means the fibrosis. Adenosis, increased number of SNI, but it's a sclerosing adenosis, so it's a compressed and distorted in the central portion. These SNI compressed and distorted in the central portion. Why it's compressed in the central portion? Due to the sclerosing feature. Sclerosing feature means due to the stromal fibrosis, which compress the lumens and form the solid cords of the cells within the dense stroma. These are the SNI. This is the single SNI. If I talk about, if I cut it like this is the SNI. This is the SNI. This is the hollow SNI, which has got the hollow lumen. But if the stroma, if the fibrosis going to take place in the center, it will convert this SNI, hollow SNI, will into the solid cords or the double strands of cells with the dense stroma. These are the double strands of cells because it's double layer of the myoepithelial cells, and with the dense, and in the center the dense stroma is present. Histologically wise, it's like an invasive carcinoma or the palpable mass by the clinicians. Radiological, it has got the densities and the calcification. Now come to the complex sclerosing lesions. Complex sclerosing lesions means sclerosing adenosis will be present, papillomas will be present, or epithelial hyperplasias will be present. These all will be present in the complex sclerosing lesions. What is mean by the radial sclerosing lesions? Radial sclerosing lesions, this has got the irregular lumen and the centrally hyalinized stroma. Centrally hyalinized stroma surrounded by the long projections into the stroma. This is known as the radial sclerosing lesions. Now comes to the papillomas. The papillomas are basically formed. What is papilloma? Papilloma are the finger-like projections. These finger-like projections are formed in the dilated duct, which has got the fibrovascular core, mean the central, in the center the fibrovascular tissue is present, plus it has got the feature of the epithelial hyperplasia and the apocrine metaplasia. If the papilloma is present in the large duct, it will be single and located in electrophorus sinus of the nipple. If it's present in the small duct, it may be multiple and located deeper in the ductal system. Papilloma, if the papilloma is take place in, the papilloma will give the secretions, two types of secretion, the bloody secretion and the serous secretion. Why it gives the bloody secretion? If the stalk of the papilloma, this is the stalk of the papilloma, undergo the torsion and it will result in the infarction, it will cause the bloody secretion. If I talk about the serous, if the intermittent blockage of the papillomas is take place, result in the secretion of the breast or the irritation of the duct by the papillomas. Now comes to the proliferative breast disease with atypia. It's simply the clonal proliferation having some histological findings of the carcinoma in the situ. Why it's atypia? It has got the nuclear changes, but in the proliferative breast disease without atypia, no nuclear changes is take place. Moderately increase the risk of the carcinoma. It has got two forms, atypical ductal hyperplasia and the atypical lobular hyperplasia. 5 to 17% of the biopsies shows the calcification, and atypical lobular hyperplasia diagnosis is on the basis of incidental findings. 5% of biopsies which are performed for other reasons, not for specially for the breast diseases. Atypical ductal hyperplasia resembles the DCIs, mean the ductal carcinoma in the situ, but distinguish. And the atypical lobular hyperplasia resembles the LCIs, means the lobular carcinoma in the situ. What is the difference between the DCIs and the ductal hyperplasia? Atypical ductal hyperplasia, it's simply the monomorphic proliferation of regularly spaced cells or sometimes cribriform spaces. It only fills the partially fills the duct. If I talk about the LCIs or the atypical lobular hyperplasia, atypical lobular hyperplasia do not fill or distend more than 50% of acini. Lobular hyperplasia, lobular cells lie between the ductal basement membrane and overlying luminal cells. The most common thing which is the present in the atypical lobular hyperplasia or the LCIs is the loss of the E-cadherin, which is an adhesive protein. Both atypical ductal hyperplasia or atypical lobular hyperplasia has got the mutation of the chromosome 16q, which is the long arm of the chromosomes, or the gain of the 17p. These mutation, loss of 16q and the gain of 17p, is also present in the carcinomas of situ of the ductal system and the lobular system.